Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Farooq Khan and I'm your host for today's program, NAMF Senior Talk, which is funded by the New Horizon for Seniors program, Government of Canada. Today in the studio we have a very special guest. In fact, he is one of the most special guests we have among all the guests here. And the reason being is because he is one of the founding members of North American Muslim Foundation. It is an honor for us to have him here. I would like to welcome him, Brother Rashid Hassan. Assalamu alaikum, Rashid Sahab.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you?
I'm very fine.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, let me start. Tell me, when you came to Canada and how was your early experiences when you came here?
Well, I start from that when I was in Pakistan. Everybody were going to England, London. And they were working, some of them were very educated people, some of them were not educated people. Those who were not educated, I think they were working as laborers there. And I thought that so many people are going from here to London. Why should I go to London? I should go somewhere else. So a friend of mine, he was here in Canada under the Colombo Plan. In those days they had a Colombo Plan in which they were giving those scholarships.
And which year are we talking about?
1964, 3,
So early 60s?
Yes.
Okay.
So his name was Tariq, my friend, who was with me in the metric in Hyderabad. So he said that when you go to Canada, it's a very good country, and what you should do that when you land in Toronto, go to YMCA because you don't know anybody there.
Oh, okay.
I said, fine, I'll go to YMCA. And then he said after a day or two, go around and see if there are so many rooms there in the houses, in the rooming house. And you can rent a room there and you stay there and look for a job around somewhere else. So I landed in Canada, I think, in Toronto, on September the 17th or 18th in 1965.
Wow. The year I was born.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So I took a taxi and I told him to drop me at the YMCA. So he dropped me at downtown Toronto on College Street. There's the YMCA.
Okay.
And I was worried that how much rent it will be. In those days it was very cheap. For instance, the room in the YMCA at that time in 1965 was $1.50 a night.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'll stay here for a day or two maybe. He said, doesn't matter how many days you want to stay, you stay here.
Okay.
So I stayed in YMCA for one night, 2 nights, and then I looked around into the area for the room. And there are so many rooms around there, the houses there, they are renting the rooms. So there was one on Beverly Street, I think, that's the place. I still remember the address, 227 Beverly Street in that area, and the owner was a Chinese couple. So I went there and I said, how much is the room for rent? He said, $7 per week.
Wow.
So that was, I said, fine, I took the room.
Okay.
And then since it was September, I stayed there. I think I wanted to get the driver's license. It's very important for me because I was, in Pakistan, I was in the pharmaceutical company, Park Davis. And there I was a pharmaceutical sales rep. And I wanted to do the same job in Canada as well. So I think I had about 1 or 2 companies in my mind to apply for. So I phoned Park Davis. And the Park Davis manager who was here in Toronto, he said, you should have resigned there. You left the company. And we cannot rehire you because once you have left the company, we cannot. I said, fine. Then actually I had applied from Pakistan to one of the companies in Toronto. And I phoned them too. I forgot the name of that company. It was not a very big company. And they said that, well, we don't have any jobs at the moment, but whenever it is, you can call me after about a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So the days were passing and the time is coming for Christmas. So I went to one of the hiring place, I think, here on downtown, and they said, well, why don't you go to T. Eaton's and Company? At that time, there were T. Eaton's and Company, it's a big company at the time. So I applied for it, and they hired me.
Okay.
And the rent had, I mean, the wages, I'll say, were about $50 per week. So they gave me a job in the men's furnishing, it means clothing, men's clothing.
Okay.
So I got the job there, and till December, from October to December, I worked in T. Eaton's and Company
Okay.
for $50 per week.
Okay, so
And
tell
that was
me.
a big company. It was a big money, I
Wow.
think, at those times.
Okay, so tell me, when you came to Canada in 1965, what was your experiences in terms of the Muslim community? Did you meet any Muslims? Were there any masajid at the time? How was your experience with them?
Yeah, it's a very small community of the Muslims in those times, I think. I didn't know anybody.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, okay.
And my friend's Tariq brother was here, but he was studying, I think, in the University of Toronto. So
Yeah.
he was only one fellow, and then I didn't know anybody else.
Oh, okay.
So when I was coming and going from T. Eaton's and Company to my room, I saw a brother coming who was just like a Pakistani brother.
Okay.
So I said, Brother, Salaam Alaikum, where are you? Where do you live? And so on and so forth.
Oh,
So I
okay,
met
okay.
him.
Okay.
And his name was Athar Hussain. I think he passed away, I think. And then from there, I met one or two brothers who were, at that time there were no masjid.
Oh, okay.
So on Sunday, they used to get, on Dundas Street, there was a Arab brother who had a carpet shop
Oh, okay.
on Dundas Street somewhere. I
Okay.
don't remember the address or the Dundas Street address. So we used to get there for Zuhr time on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
That's it. And then there was no Friday prayers because everybody was looking for a job, everybody was new.
Yes.
And in the masjid also, there were only about 4 or 5 Indian Pakistani brothers, and the rest of them about another 6 or 10 from the Saudi Arabia, from Qatar, from
Oh, okay.
other
Okay.
places.
Oh, okay.
That was all the Muslim community at the time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then everybody was looking for a job because there were new immigrants here.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how the life went on.
So the community was very small,
Very, yes.
obviously.
So very
And so
few
what
people
what
there.
sort of challenges did you face about in terms of halal meal, for example,
Yes.
Pakistani grocery stores?
There were no grocery store then, so we used to get meat from the Jewish markets.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes I used to slaughter the chicken
Okay.
and bring it home
Oh, okay.
and cook. That was a halal for me
Oh,
because
okay.
I had cut it myself.
Yes.
Otherwise, we used to buy from the Jewish market because they also believe in one God.
Yeah, of
And
course.
their
Yeah.
food was halal for us at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was no Indian groceries, there was no Pakistani groceries in the
Okay.
1965, 66.
Oh, okay.
I think in 70s, Ayub Qureshi was the one who
Yes.
started his
The Afro-Asian
Afro-Asian
groceries.
something
Oh,
like that.
yeah, yeah, in downtown. Yes.
So on Pape Street, I think somewhere he
Oh,
started
okay.
his store.
Yes. Yes.
And
I
that
have
was
been
the
told
only
that
place.
it is one of the first
First one.
halal grocery stores in
Exactly,
Toronto.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So that's it. After that, I think in 1972, I think the people started coming.
Oh, okay.
So up to 1970, there were very few Indian Pakistanis, and they used to hold some of the university, Toronto University, Pakistani functions, something like that,
Oh, okay. Okay.
in which whatever Pakistanis were here, they used to gather and they used to sing and they used to talk and they used to
Oh, okay.
give speeches.
Okay.
And at that time, I think the ambassador of Pakistan also used to come to attend that function.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
And that was it. That was the time when we used to
Yeah.
get together.
Yeah.
all the Pakistanis.
Because I remember when I was at U of T in the 80s, 1988,
That's right.
and I revived the Pakistani Student Association. So I went to their archives, and what I discovered that the PSA was formed in 1967 at U
Oh, I
of T.
see, I see.
I saw the original document, actually, the first governing document.
Yes.
So anyway, so you came in the 65, right? How did you find the Muslim community evolving throughout the 70s and 80s?
Yeah, they came, I think, with a different, education. Some of them were engineers, some of them doctors, and the doctors were a hard time here because they had to pass the exams in Canada,
Sure,
in Toronto.
sure. Yeah.
And there are very few who went to the university and they passed that medical education.
Oh.
But the rest of them, they're working here and there. And the engineers, I think they got the jobs, whatever they get.
Okay, okay.
And I was trying to get into the pharmaceutical company.
Oh.
And I think I got a job in Burroughs Wellcome
Oh,
in
okay.
those days. So I worked there for about a year. And then I changed the company because some of the friends said that you have better opportunities
Oh,
somewhere
okay.
else too.
Okay. Now, how did you got involved with NAMF? Because I know I have seen the first registration document, 1980, the registration document
Oh, I
for the
see, I see.
foundation, and your name is also there as one of the 3 founding members.
Yes.
So, what was that story about?
You know, actually, brother
Kabir Farooqi, late Kabir Farooqi.
Kabir Farooqi, he was a friend of ours because he's also from Hyderabad and I am also from the Hyderabad. So he said we are going to organize an organization here and in the name of the North American Muslim Foundation. And we have got 4 or 5 other brothers that we would like to collect some money and send to Pakistan, to India, for the Muslim brothers who are suffering from there. And so Brother Kabir Farooqi also brought me into this organization because I was at the time, I think, was a senior member in Canada.
Yes, yes,
And
of course.
I was also involved in the masjid here,
Oh, okay,
especially in the Ramadan time.
okay.
During the Taraweeh, I used to bring the what do you call that? The introduction of the Quran.
Oh, okay.
For the Taraweeh, that what surah we are reading.
Oh, okay, okay.
What are the
okay, all right.
the main features in this?
And which masjid are we talking about here? Jama Masjid?
No, at the time there was no Nugget Masjid also.
Yeah, of course, that came much later.
So we used to hire some school highways,
Ah, okay.
schools.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then in the school, what you call that?
Gymnasiums.
Gymnasiums.
Yes,
So we used to pray Taraweeh.
yes.
And
So
I
you
think
used to
at
give the
time-
tafsir basically.
Not the tafsir, the introduction
Introduction,
of the surah.
yeah, of the surah.
And that's how I continued, I think, even up to last Ramzan also. Because of the COVID in 2019, there was no Taraweeh.
Yes.
All the masajid were closed. And that's how I think in 60s there were very few Hufaz here.
Yeah.
But we used to start from the
So that's how you got to know Kabir Farooqi and you
Yes,
got involved,
yes,
with
yes.
NAMF as well. What was this story about? Because I know that I remember when I came to Canada in the 80s, 82, the one of our most favorite radio program at the time was Voice of Pakistan.
Yes, okay.
Okay, and you used to do this segment called Roshni, Light,
That's
which
right.
was basically an Islamic component of talking about ethics and Quran and the Seerah, right, on it. It was one of our most favorite show at the time for us, right. When did you got involved with that program, Roshni?
Yeah, actually, this brother Shabiluddin's book, he had written 3 books. One book is called Roshni, and he used to broadcast in Radio Pakistan, Karachi. So I took this book, and then I started reading from this. And at the time, Brother Quraishi, who was running this show. So I asked them that could I also participate in your program and read this segment of Roshni.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He said, sure, why not?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is very informative. And then I started.
And when was that? When that program started?
I
In the
think it
70s
was,
or 80s?
Maybe it's, actually I don't remember that. Maybe it was in 80s.
In 80s, because I remember in 82,
Yes.
Listening to that program.
So and that was only, I think there was another radio program in those days was from, what was his name? Jaffrey.
Oh, okay.
So he passed away, but he used to play all the Indian songs. But his timing was about 5 o'clock in the evening, somewhere like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And our program was from 8:30
to 9 o'clock. Yeah, 8:30 and 9:30, something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
first of all, I think they took for the half an hour
Yes.
on FM 690, 790 something.
Yeah, yes, yes. Adil Taimuri was the host.
Adil Tamuri was the
Yes,
host, yes,
yes.
yes. So I started there for Roshni, and then after some times it became a 1 hour program,
Oh, okay.
and then it's continued for a long time.
Yes, yes. So let's talk about. We're going to conclude now. As you know that the pandemic hit in the 2000. How, as a senior, were you able to cope with it?
Okay.
Because it was pretty traumatic, for
That's
a
right,
lot
that's
of
right.
seniors especially. How
Yes,
did you
the
cope?
government had announced, I think at the time it was the Premier of Ontario used to announce, because it was a pandemic,
Yep.
and he said, you take the masks and don't more than 5 people at home, and don't go out.
Yes.
If you don't have to go, stay at home all the time, and wear masks even at home, and don't invite people to come to your homes, because it is a pandemic and it's very serious. So we stayed home, and then we had masks all the time, and all the masajid were closed, and we used to go to the grocery stores only whenever we needed some time, if we needed something. And that's how we coped with that. I think our children also, and then the government also said that you have to take the injections for the
Vaccines.
vaccines for this COVID. And I took the first one, the second one, and the third one,
Oh, okay.
because the government had all
Yes.
these plans
Yes.
for this. And the government was announcing all the time that what to do, what not to do during this COVID time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because there are so many people were dying.
So were you satisfied with the measures that government has taken?
I was, because I was in the pharmaceutical sales myself.
Oh, okay.
So I knew it, that what to do, what not to do.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good.
And I told my children that what to do, that to wear the mask all the time.
Sure.
And
Sure.
don't visit us, and we will not visit you.
Oh, okay.
Stay away from the people.
Oh, okay.
And don't even take the buses.
Oh, okay.
Because the government has also put.
Yes.
The government also, the schools, I mean the jobs are also, you can do at
From-
home,
yeah.
on telephone,
Yeah, yeah.
and on
Okay.
the computers.
Oh, okay.
So they stayed away from the
Okay.
community itself,
Okay.
because
Sure.
all the cinemas were closed and everything was closed. So that's how we
Okay.
handled that.
Well, thank you very much. Wonderful to hear from you, Rashid Hassan Saab. It is an honor again, to be here. I'm pretty sure, you have seen this whole city and
That's right.
country evolving before your eyes, and even, this very foundation, starting from one room, right, and alhamdulillah, it
Exactly,
has now moved into a huge facility, and, things are even moving ahead. With that, well, I wish you all the best. Take care of yourself.
Thank you very much for
You are an
inviting me.
asset to the community. Okay, and definitely, there's a lot more things that we need to, learn from you, over here, so that also the coming generation will know, who. I mean, you are the pioneers.
That's right.
You people, came over here and established a whole community over here.
That's
So
right.
thank you once again. Well, thank you for my viewers as well, and then we are going to see you next time with another episode. Until then, this is your host Farooq Khan. Assalamu alaikum.